Oh, hey, welcome to Taylor's Trick Taking Table. I'm Chef Table, and I'm making an egg for a friend today. As you can see, it's almost done, nice and gooey. And I just need the perfect pairing for this. What goes really well with eggs? Maybe if I can find something around here. Yeah, I wonder what would go well with eggs. Maybe something along the lines of... Oh, perfect. Cheez-Its. Yeah, that'll do. That's perfect. Yes, this will go perfectly. Oh my gosh, yes. Perfect. This is wonderful. Is everything okay in there? It smells a bit like toasted Cheez-Its.
Yeah, all good.
Okay. Hey, Taylor, waiting for breakfast from my chef. But while we're waiting, why don't we talk about the game we're covering today? Bacon by the Sean Ross of Haggis fame, Vidrasso fame. We've covered a few of his games on the channel. And this one is a climbing shedding game where the hook is players, when they have the lead, like a climbing shedding game, I hope you know, can either play whatever they want, like melds, or they can pass the lead to one of their partners. It's a team partnership climbing shedding game. And it plays up to 6 too. Wild. But the crazy hook is you only score if one of your teammates goes out first. So the team that has a teammate that goes out first is the only team that's going to score that round. And then how many points they score is dependent on how soon the other teammates go out. Wild. So let's go to the table, not the chef, and I'm going to show you how to... Oh, it's ready? Oh, thanks. This is... yeah, no, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is going to go well with this Assam hot sauce. The family recipe. Okay, yeah, let's try it out. This is bacon and eggs. Bacon and Cheez-It and eggs. Okay, here we go. Bon appetit. You can just go to the table at this point. There's no need to watch a grown man eat Cheez-Its and eggs. Oh, okay. I can't even get a Cheez-It on. Okay, here we go. Bon appetit. Cheers. Very good. Very good, table. How much am I paying you? Oh, nothing? I'm not paying you anything? Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, no, thank you. This is great. Keep them coming. Anyway, see you at the table. If you're on the Cheez-Its, it's actually really good. Oh, there's like Cheez-Its baked in. Okay. Okay, this is a lot. Bye. The deck in Bacon is 2 standard decks, but you only use part of each decks. You're going to be using 1 through 10, depending on the player count. And then, of course, in those suits up there, you're also going to be using the jokers or some of the face cards as wilds in the game. And they are going to be stronger than the highest card. And even though I am using a McDonald's and a spooky deck, you're actually supposed to have 2 decks that look similar. So please don't pay attention to the fact that the card backs and the card fronts will look different. It's supposed to all look the same. Here we have the game set up for 4 players. Teammates are going to sit opposite each other, like this thwomp sitting across from their teammate, the thwomp over here. And each player is going to be dealt out 2 wilds, in addition to 15 cards, because you're going to deal out the whole deck. And then starting to the left of the dealer, let's say it's Porco Rosa here, they're going to lead to the trick. So what you can play in Bacon are any valid meld, and we'll put the meld on the right here, but essentially it's a single, pair, or triple, a run of 3, 4, or 5, a stair, which is 2 consecutive pairs, like this 2, 2, 3, 3, tubes, which is 3 consecutive pairs, like the 2, 2, 3, 3, and 4, 4, or plates, which are consecutive triplets, like 2, 2, 2, and then 3, 3, 3. So Porco with the lead, let's say they want to play 2 6s, so maybe they play 2 6s. So classic climbing shedding, the next player can either pass, or they can play something higher than this of the same meld. So the thwomp over here, they can play a pair that is higher. So maybe they play 2 8s, and then it will go to the peacock. Maybe they pass because they don't want to play, and maybe it comes to this thwomp over here, and again, they can pass if they want to. You can also use wilds for whatever you want. So maybe, I don't know why the thwomp would do this, but they could play a 9 and a wild to be able to beat the 2 8s. They're playing on their partner, so maybe not the best.
But then it could come to Porco, and Porco could pass, and then whoever is the last player to have played, if everyone passes, they'll win and be able to lead to the next trick. This is where one of the wrinkles of the game comes in, though. So let's say this Thwomp, who just played the 2 9s, did win the trick. They'll just discard that. When they go to lead, they can either lead like normal, maybe they want to play like a single 8, or you can always do this if you have the lead. You can pass the lead to your partner. So maybe they played a 9 in a wild, which was interesting because they topped their partner, but after they won and had the lead, maybe they want to give their lead back to the partner. And so the partner can take the lead, and then they can play whatever they want into the trick. What's important is there's no discussion here. So if this player wanted to pass the lead, they can't ask like, hey, what do you want the lead? They can just pass it or not. And if they didn't, they would just lead like normal. Play like this will continue like normal. So like, let's say that was a single and classic climbing shedding. We just keep going like this, except there are bombs to explain. And what bombs are is they can be played at any point. Bombs are a special type of combination that when played, they'll beat anything, and it doesn't have to follow the meld. So like in singles here, that doesn't quite matter if this person over here wanted to bomb. I'll put the bombs over on the left here, but essentially bombs are different higher combinations like 4-5s or quads. And you can use jokers in bombs, so maybe they want to play 5-5s for a stronger bomb, because stronger bombs can beat weaker bombs. For instance, if Porco wanted to beat that bomb, they have a natural 5-7 bomb, which would beat the 5s because 7s are higher than 5s, or because higher bombs are just stronger, they could use one of their wilds and make this 6-7s, which is a super, super strong bomb. So if bombs are played, whoever plays the strongest bomb and has everyone passing will then lead, and again, they can pass the lead if they wanted to. So like if Porco won this one, they could play or pass it to their partner. And so why would they be passing to their partner? Is because how the scoring works in the game is your team only scores if someone on your team goes out first, and first in relation to anyone. So if Porco was super savvy and they had the lead and these were their last 3 cards and they played this, now the Porco Peacock team are going to be the only team that scores points this round. And how many points the team scores is when the other partner goes out. And the earlier the better. They were out of cards, they would get 4 points. If the Thwomp was able to go out before the Peacock could go out, and then the Peacock went out third, they get 2 points. And if both Thwomps were able to go out before this Peacock, then that team would just get 1 point. So when one team goes out, that means the other team can't get any points, but they can still keep playing to try to mitigate how much points the other team gets. Then you would just shuffle and deal and pass the dealer to the left player, and you would play 8 deals or 8 points, whichever happens first. So that's how to play Bacon at 4. You can play at 6, where there's alternating partners, so it's actually a team of 3 versus another team of 3. And the same thing works where you really just want someone on your team, one of your 3 players or 2 other teammates, to go out first, because then your whole team will score, and then you're going to get relative points as well. I'll put up the chart of how that works. There's also a variant for Applewood Bacon where you actually only play individually. You're trying to just go out as fast as possible, and that's how to play Bacon.
Hello. Welcome to the final thoughts for Bacon.
That's right. Final thoughts for Bacon. It's a game by Sean Ross, whom I consider a friend. I think it's mutual. But that said, there's not going to be a seal, and take everything I say with a grain of salt because there is definite bias here. That said, I really like this game. It is easily one of my favorite climbing shedding games. The fact that the first person to go out in, a 4-player or possibly like a 6-player climbing shedding game has so much tension because that's how you score is so much fun. Not only is the first player to go out like hugely important, like I totally get how important that is, but also after that, everyone else, it still matters how they get out because then that's how many points. It was interesting when I was reading the rules, I thought it was going to be a little bit crushing, a little bit defeating if you were on the team that doesn't go out first, and it kind of is. I wouldn't say it's like a good feeling because you're not going to get any points that round. But the way that you can still keep playing to minimize the amount of points the other team gets means that every player is still super involved. Everyone is still rooting for their teammates. There's such a sense of like camaraderie and like loving what your team does in the game. It does something so well where I think sometimes partnership games, they'll feel partnership because of just like player count sake or like partnership sake. Like it seems like some designs, they don't know how to handle 4-player or 6-player, and they're just like, just make it a team game because it kind of works as like a 2 or 3-player game, and I don't know how to make 4-player work. This game, I think, does teammates so well. Obviously, the golden standard is Tichu. It's hard not to mention Tichu in a partnership climbing shedding game. But what this does so well is it uses the passing mechanism of the lead in such an interesting way. I think one of the most fun decisions of the game is when you look over at your teammate and they've been doing pretty well. They're down to like maybe 4 or 5 cards, and you're at like 8, maybe have a good hand, but they have been shedding pretty quickly. Is that a sign that they should have the lead right now? Should you pass it to them? Ooh, it's so good. I've had situations where both have happened. I've had a teammate shed pretty quickly, and I'm thinking, oh, they must have a monster hand. They're going to go out first. And I passed them the lead, and they didn't know what they were doing, didn't know if they could go out, so they were just trying to get as low as possible before they thought I was the one who was going to go out. There's some really good like communication and like miscommunication that could happen in the game. And I think part of the magic of the game is also that it works at 6 players. I don't think this is talked about too much, but like anything over 5, and even 5-player at all in a climbing shedding or like a trick-taking game, that's a tough player count. Not too many games can go over 5-player and still do it so well. I know there's Sextet, which is kind of like a bridge at 6 players rather than 4. But Bacon does something where, since everybody cares about who goes out first, and then second, third, fourth, fifth, it makes it so, even though there's 6 people at the table, there is still so much tension. It's kind of like a magic trick to be able to handle 6 players and still make it feel like everything you do matters. What else is there to say? The melds are intuitive, the gameplay's quick, everyone has wilds, so you're likely to probably have a bomb at any given time. The bombs are nice. I'll say likely to have a bomb, because it was funny, the first time I played the game, I was getting politely ribbed that I was not helping my team. But there are times when like you can just get a rough deal, and again, that's no fault of Bacon. That's just kind of the situation you're in when you play climbing, shedding card games. But I think overall, for the most part, the wilds and the bomb structure really help players have bombs, have agency, and make them be the ones to know when to use it. The wilds are a huge resource, especially into the end of the game. I think a really fun thing to pay attention to is the other team, how they use wilds, and kind of this like economy of sorts. You only have 2 of them, and even though they do give guaranteed bombs, they're also super useful just solos, just being like the strongest single. So it's almost like an economy for your team. Any cons, you might ask? I think some of the variants aren't as fun. I don't find individual Bacon as interesting as teammate Bacon, but it's hard to rib a game for offering variants that some people might like more than I do, especially when it's the base game that I love so much. So I would say personally I like it at 4 and at 6, and they do feel very distinct and very fun, different player counts. And I think it's overall a really clean design. I don't really have any complaints. The rules teach is really, really quick. I think overall it's just a wonderful, wonderful package. So that's Bacon. I am in an Airbnb right now, and I'm trying to be quiet and make this quick, so thanks so much. Bye.
Ja, bro. Staat vanaf, dat is met loop. Voilà.